Hey everybody, today I am actually west of Indianapolis and in a small town called Pittsboro, Indiana. Actually, a super nice park here, Scammahorn Park, which has baseball fields and soccer fields and playground and plenty of parking. Really nice park over in Pittsboro, Indiana. So we're gonna talk about Pittsboro, Indiana just a little bit and the possibility of it being an option for you if you're moving to the area and just what it's about and why a place like this might be a pretty good fit. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in a place like Pittsboro, Indiana, Brownsburg, Indiana, very close by, of course, Indianapolis, Indiana, any of the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tap the little bell as well to be notified every time we do a new video. And we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about Indianapolis, of course, but all the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis, even some of the towns that you've never heard of, very likely, like Pittsboro. So if you have questions at all about anything regarding the Indy Metro, then make sure you reach out any way you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. All right, again, I am in a park, and it is pretty much in the center of Pittsboro, Indiana. And I know a lot of you have never heard of Pittsboro, Indiana, because it is an exceptionally small town. I shouldn't say exceptionally, I don't even know what that means, but it is small in comparison to some of the cities and towns surrounding Indianapolis, and definitely small compared to Indianapolis itself. There's not quite 4,000 people in Pittsboro, and I mean, this is an exceptionally nice park here in the center of Pittsboro. There's some pickleball courts over here, basketball court, playground over there behind me, gigantic parking lot right out here, and then baseball fields, super nice soccer fields right up here behind me as well. Little shelter here too for picnic or whatever. You can sit in the shade on a super hot day. It's not very hot today, but it's a gorgeous day, that's for sure. But the reason I'm here in Pittsboro is because it could be an option for people moving to the Indy Metro. And it's definitely a place, again, that you've maybe have never heard of. And actually, people around the Indy Metro maybe have never heard of Pittsboro. There are definitely times where if you live in a big metropolitan area, big city, and you have all these small towns surrounding it, it's possible that you've not heard of all of them. This could definitely be one of them. Although it's a little hard to believe because it's not just a blip, it's close to 4,000 people, so it is on the map. And there are a couple of really notable people that are actually from Pittsboro. Bridget Sloan, who was a gymnast, silver medalist with the gymnastics team over in Beijing, and then Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, enormous name in NASCAR. He's from Pittsboro, but not surprising because that he's into racing, because just nearby, I mean, just to the east of here, you have Brownsburg, Indiana. If you don't think Brownsburg, Indiana is big into racing, well, they've got Lucas Oil Raceway there. So the hot rod dragsters, all that kind of stuff, all that type of racing, and in addition to that, other types of racing. I am not into racing. I am not a big race fan. I don't know a tremendous amount about it. I just know that the National Hot Rod Association, Nationals, the drag races, it's the national championship for drag racing right in Brownsburg at Lucas Oil Raceway. So pretty cool there. And of course, Indianapolis, known for the Indianapolis 500, the biggest single day sporting event in the world. Maybe not the biggest sporting event in the world, but single day. And you're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people there at that race. But Brownsburg's not that far behind, which is pretty amazing. This small town, not even 30,000 people, but it's right here next to Pittsboro. So it is on the map locally, that's for sure. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Pittsboro is that if you're looking around the Indy Metro and you know Indianapolis isn't going to be the place that you want to be, you don't want a city that large, you have looked at a lot of the cities and towns that surround Indianapolis, especially some of the more popular ones like a Carmel or a Fishers or Westfield on the north side, and you need to be kind of north side as far as your location goes, or you want to be on the north side, you can get into smaller towns like a Zionsville or a Brownsburg on the west side. Both of those towns are reasonable size. They're close to 30,000 people, but not quite 30,000. But their schools, especially at the high school level, they're not exceptionally small. So they have one high school in Zionsville, they have one high school in Brownsburg. Now Zionsville's a little bit smaller than Brownsburg. Brownsburg's over 3,000 kids at the high school, and Zionsville has less than 3,000. So still reasonably large high schools for sure. But if those towns are a little too big for you and you want something just a little bit more of that small town feel, because it really is a small town, but you still don't want to be out in complete rural Midwest or rural Indiana, where if you're going home after work, let's say on a Friday, you got to think, well, what do I need from the store, the grocery store, or any place at all for the weekend, because I don't want to go out on the weekend and get anything because there's a 30-minute drive at least to anything that's close by. A place or a town like Pittsboro could be the fit for somebody like that who needs that. Now here, you get into a completely different school corporation than Brownsburg schools. You get into Northwest Hendricks, the county, Hendricks County, Northwest Hendricks County schools here, and the high school, Tri-West High School, is much smaller than what you're going to have at a Brownsburg. And then, as I said, you're in this small town with a smaller high school, but still very, very close to all of the things that you might need on a daily basis. So you can get to US 136, which is a major road, not a highway, as far as an interstate is concerned, is what I mean, to get you into Brownsburg. And Brownsburg has everything that you're going to need. It has grocery stores, but also has a very nice Kroger grocery store. Not just the one, but it has multiple grocery stores, but that Kroger being a huge one, not that far down the road. You can also jump right onto I-74. So speaking of interstates, if you need to get into Brownsburg faster, because you can take the Brownsburg exit when you're heading east, you can also go to Indianapolis and the northwest side of Indianapolis very, very quickly. You're close to Eagle Creek Park here in Pittsboro, just like you are if you live in Brownsburg, which is one of the biggest municipal parks in the entire country, not just the state, but the entire country. It is an incredible park, so you're relatively close by as far as something like that's concerned. But Pittsboro, I mean, it's an exceptionally old town. There's a lot of history here. You're talking mid-1800s or so when it's first founded, and there's just over 100 people or so in Pittsboro at that point in time. And it's grown obviously since then to close to 4,000 people. So Pittsboro does have a history, and it does have some older homes and older areas, but because the west side and the northwest side, especially of Indianapolis, has grown so much, you have Zionsville, which is growing, but one of the fastest growing areas across the entire Indy Metro is Whitestown, very, very close to Zionsville. But a lot of that growth has leaked over this way. So Brownsburg has seen some growth, but then you've got some space between Whitestown, Zionsville, and Brownsburg, where a lot of new construction is taking place and a lot of course, spread is occurring. But west of Brownsburg, you're seeing that as well, because you have people that want to be out on this side. So in Pittsboro, we do have some new construction neighborhoods. We have had new construction and newer homes in the past 10 years or so. So people are moving to this area. I wouldn't say flocking to this area, but moving to this area because the geographic location is right for them, but also they want this type of feel, small town, and still be relatively close to Brownsburg and Indianapolis. And honestly, there are other small towns very close to here as well. Just to the south of here, you've got a really, really cool small town, although it's more than twice as large as Pittsboro. You get into Danville, and you're talking closer to 10,000 people or so there. And then you can get to Avon as well. And Avon is way more populated than what a Pittsboro is. And roughly, you're getting closer to the same size of Brownsburg with an Avon. That's not that far away either, just to the south. So you go a little bit further west of here and you get into Liston, and then you can actually get into all kinds of little small towns around this area and out to the west and get a lot more rural. So it has that feel of small town, almost rural, not quite, but you're right on the edge of it. And some people just want that perfect mix. I don't want urban. I really don't even want dense suburban like a Brownsburg or a Carmel or a Greenwood, Indiana on the south side. I want just on that edge. And you do have some options as you surround the Indianapolis metro with little towns like that. And this is just a fantastic example of it. So if you haven't checked out Pittsboro, check it out on a map. In this video, of course, you can see where it is, but look at it for yourself too, and see if it could be an option if you just haven't felt like you found anything that gives you that mix of that suburban / rural feel that you want with your small town. So if you have any questions at all about a place like Pittsboro, Indiana, or of course nearby Brownsburg, Indiana, and definitely Indianapolis, Indiana, then make sure you reach out. And until the next one, we'll see you later.